So I always tell travelers, if you're going to be working overnights or goofy shifts, try and pick a top floor because then you don't have to worry about noise on top of you.
Makes a ton of sense. Thank you for joining me for another episode of On the Clock and Off the Record. Each episode is brought to you by Atlas MedStaff, unapologetically human. Today's guest is Michael Schlottman, Director of Strategic Partnerships at Extended Stay America. Michael works directly with healthcare staffing agencies and traveling healthcare professionals, helping them solve one of the least glamorous problems in our industry, finding affordable, clean housing. Michael, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Rich. Great to be here. Thanks for having me today. Great intro.
Thank you. Okay, so introduce yourself for me. I did a little bit there. How long you been in the industry? How long you been in Extended Stay America?
Oh gosh, I've been in the hospitality industry for I think going on 40 years now. 35. I started right out of high school. Did an overnight security job at a hotel by my parents' house at the time. And then with Extended Stay, actually this July will be my 18th year at Extended Stay America. So
wow.
Yeah, it's been a minute here at the fabulous Extended Stay. So, and then handling this vertical, medical staffing, this will be my 12th year now.
Okay. Yeah, so, you and I have been friends for quite some time now. Like we have attended conferences together, and you have been a constant for us in the industry there on your side of the Extended Stay.
Do the best I can. I really enjoy the staffing industry. I feel like it mimics the hospitality industry. It seems like it's something different every day or every hour.
Totally true. All right, you ready to get into this?
Let's do it.
All right, let's go on the clock. First question. You sit at the intersection of hospitality and healthcare staffing. Yes. What do staffing leaders misunderstand about lodging? And then what does lodging misunderstand about staffing?
Well, as far as staffing misunderstanding lodging, I think the biggest thing is how easy at Extended Stay America we make it to book, whether it's a housing team or it's the actual traveler, with the online booking codes and everything we have set up for everyone. That's the conversation I've had with some of the staffing leaders at the conferences. Outside of TravCon and going to NATHO, things like that, meeting those particular members of the industry, how easy we make it for them to book and how it is to research. They don't necessarily understand how the partnership works between a housing partner and a staffing agency. On the lodging side of it, just educating the staffing industry on how to find us, where we're at, especially in markets where we have multiple locations.
Do you think this is an extension of that question? Do you think that each of your locations, like really understand what a traveling healthcare professional does and, that type of thing, or does it really matter to them? Like temporary staff is temporary staff and they kind of treat it all the same way.
I think they do. Honestly, since the pandemic, and we're going to talk about that forever. Mm-hmm. They enjoy the travelers. They're quiet. They're clean. They're not picky. In some things they are, but they're a great guest to have in our hotels.
Gotcha. All right. Next question from your seat. What has changed the most in travel healthcare in the last 5 years from an extended stay point of view since the pandemic, right?
This was a great question. Prior to the pandemic, it really was, I want to say an 80-20, 70-30, where I was really working with the housing teams at agencies that had them. Mm-hmm. It was more that push, working with them, talking to them. Since the last 5 years, it's really flip-flopped. It's the stipend traveler. It's the actual, as we call it, end user that stays in our hotels. They are really making the decisions. The agencies can offer up suggestions, and we have partners in the housing side, but it really comes down to getting in front of those travelers and those end users, like I said, as we call them, making the decision.
Makes sense. Okay. But put on the agency hat here for a second and think about this. So agencies care about rates, compliance, and speed, right? Then the travelers we work with care about comfort and consistency. How do you balance those two from your seat there at Extended Stay?
Really, it's educating equally. The agencies, here's what we have available. Here's where we are, what locations, 650 plus locations around the country. Same thing with the travelers is, again, educating them and letting them know. most likely have a location near a big facility, whether it's a hospital, whether it's a large facility like a Kaiser Permanente kind of thing. So just equally educating both sides, letting them know that we have options for you. You just have to go out there and find them.
Awesome. You work with a lot of agencies. What is the most common mistake that you see?
Not doing the additional research in the market, just assuming, again, since the pandemic, Airbnb, Vrbo, corporate housing, things like that, not really understanding where we are located. With our family of brands, our 3 brands we have, which is our Premier Suites product, which is our higher end economy, our Suites product, which is our core. That's the most of product we have in the markets. And then our Select Suites, which is really just the economy brand, where it's really all about rate. There's not all the amenities that the other 2 brands offer. So just additionally doing that research, especially in the markets where we have all 3, which is pretty common around the country.
Makes sense. How does, and this is definitely a question our travelers want to hear, right? Or any traveler out there. How does Extended Stay America think about flexibility when assignments change, contracts end early, start dates move? How do you handle that?
It's great because with our model, we 6 p.m. cancellation day of arrival, which pops up all the time. A traveler will reach out to me and say, hey, I'm supposed to arrive today, but my contract got moved back a week. I need to change my reservation. And as far as at the check-in process for extensions or anything like that, we don't ask for it up front. We don't ask for a security deposit. We don't ask for the full 90-day stay or 30-day stay up front. It's basically the first 7 days of check-in and then every 7 days after that. So we offer that flexibility because we know for sure in the industry there's a lot of changes, whether it's contract ends early, extensions come out. I've got one traveler that just reached out to me earlier this week, yesterday, to be honest with you. Feels like Friday already. That said, hey, I was supposed to check out at the end of the week, but my contract just got extended for 4 weeks. Boom. We took care of them, extended the contract. Again, they're going to just continue to pay that 7 days each week.
Perfect. All right, last question in on the clock, and then we'll ease up a little bit on these.
Okay.
If you call an agency and they tell you, you know what, Michael, I got this figured out. I don't need you. I don't need it. What usually cracks when the volume picks up? What makes them call you back?
Again, just our locations, the amount of the footprint we have around the country, I think is one of our biggest positives. And also the fact of the partnerships we have with a lot of the agencies around the country over the last 12 years, or having this vertical for Extended Stay America, like you said earlier in our conversation, I've built these relationships. I've built friendships over the years. Yes, they are my customers and they are my clients, but I also built those friendships, and I can always lean on industry experts like yourself. When I have questions, I like to continuously educate myself on the industry when things are changing or things are going different ways.
Let's go off the clock for a little bit. You and I have had a lot of conversations off the clock. Let's open it up. Let's pull the curtain back a little bit and share those. All right. You spend a lot of time with guys like me at conferences and site visits, and like we've had a lot of beers together. We've eaten some chicken wings from time to time. Oh, yeah. What is the real conversation that's happening? What do we really talk about when we're off the clock?
Again, I go back to education. I try to do my best to understand the industry and how we can always be a better partner, whether it's giving the contact information for myself out to travelers, especially those stipend travelers that are diehard stipend travelers. And just like yourself, we've talked about other conferences. I always ask, is there some conference I should be going to? This will be our 10th year going to TravCon, which kind of blows my mind too. But joining different associations throughout the industry, like NATHO being one of them. I've been a key player in that conference, and some other conferences coming up this year, trying to get myself out there and explaining Extended Stay America, not only to the travelers, but also to the agencies that are out there too.
Gotcha. All right. Next question. What is the strangest request that you've ever had or heard of from one of your locations?
Well, I thought this was a fun question. We are a pet-friendly hotel. We always have been. All of our hotels are pet-friendly. There is an additional fee for that. I got to say, one of the craziest, I had a traveler reach out to me. This is probably early into having the medical staffing vertical for ESA, she literally reached out to me and said, "Okay, I know you're pet friendly. I have 3 snakes. Can I bring 3 Can I bring 3 snakes to the hotel?" And unfortunately, I had to let her know that was kind of out of our policy. That just kind of went just a little too far, in my opinion. So that's probably the strangest one I've had so far, especially like I said, since we're pet friendly. So
yeah. I'll give you one. This was fun. This was back in my client management days. We had to find housing for someone that had a horse, that traveled with a horse. We did. It was not cheap, but we found it. So
I've not had that one yet in my career. That's an interesting one. I'd be curious where you found housing.
It was board. They had boarding and everything else. It was an interesting placement for sure. So
interesting. Wow. Okay, it wasn't a downtown location, I'm sure.
No, definitely no. Next one, housing is definitely the first thing people complain about when things go wrong. You know that. We know that. How do you personally handle those moments when those emotions get so high?
We have a motto at Extended Stay America, and we try to make it right. You know, we're not perfect. We have sometimes issues pop up, whether it's noise complaints or where it's the particular area it's located. So we try to do our best to just fix the situation, whether it's maybe trying a different sister property or finding a different room on a different floor, things like that. I always tell travelers, especially the ones that are working maybe overnights, try and ask for a top floor room when you get to the hotel, because then you don't have to worry about that loud walking, especially nowadays with our renovations going on. We're putting in that flooring, not carpeting anymore. It's that fake wood, vinyl flooring. Gets a little loud above you. So I always tell travelers, if you're going to be working overnights or goofy shifts, try and pick a top floor, because then you don't have to worry about the noise on top of you.
Makes a ton of sense. All right, last question. I want to know about Michael. Tell me what you do when you're not working.
Well, I'm an avid Vikings fan. Someday it'll happen. Not been happy with our quarterback draft the last 2 years. So, you draft a quarterback at number 10 2 years ago, and he's played 8 games in the season.
Yeah.
So there's that. My wife and I have a seasonal up in northern Minnesota, which is great. We spend as much time up there in the warm months in Minnesota as we can. And then avid golfer as well, too. Not a great golfer, but, you always go, you have those days where you go, I'm done, and then you hit a great shot, and you're like, yep, I'm going for my PGA Tour card, but it hasn't happened yet. So.
Nice. All right, last section, rapid fire. I modified these a little bit for more hospitality maybe than I would normally ask. So, are you ready?
All right. Sounds good.
All right. Question number 1: hotel breakfast, overrated or underrated?
Hotel breakfast for us are underrated or overrated, to be honest with you. We have full kitchens. You can cook your own breakfast. But at our premier suites and our suites locations, we do have that grab and go that's pretty convenient if you're running late. So I definitely say overrated on the breakfast.
Awesome. All right. Biggest myth staffing agencies believe about housing is?
That all housing is the same. The footprints are different, whether it's Extended Stay America or regular hotels or even a corporate housing or Airbnb and Verbos. They're not all the same.
Totally true. A traveling healthcare professional will forgive almost everything except
safety. I think safety is a key for all travelers. That they can get a different rate anywhere else. They can get comfort anywhere else, but I think safety is a key for me.
The one thing every agency should ask their housing partner but rarely does is?
What is all included in the partnership? What do you actually get in a partnership with us? You get me. You get a dedicated coordinator team that will help, especially when I'm traveling to conferences. As you said, I go to a lot. I think just asking what's all included in the partnership.
And I can tell you right now, you go to our website, and if you click the housing button, it goes right to your site with our discount code. So there you go. And I did not know that maybe what was probably 4 or 5 years ago, maybe, right? It existed for a while. Didn't know that was possible.
That's great, and we appreciate it.
Yeah. Last question. Travel, healthcare, housing would be better if?
All agencies were educated about housing from the top to the bottom. Like in the previous question, just knowing what you're getting. You're not just getting, occasionally somebody's going to jump on a call like this and have a conversation. I come to Omaha a lot. We see each other a lot around the country. So just, being educated from top down. Everybody needs to know, I think, especially the agencies. Certain agencies, I don't have a lot of exposure to those C-suites, but as I go to more conferences and I have conversations like this, I'm seeing people reaching out to me. So just everybody in the agency knowing what the housing partner is.
Makes sense. Yeah. And I can tell you from personal experience, he is available. Michael's 100% available. I can text him. I can email him. He is available. If someone if you're in a leadership position at an agency and you have questions about housing, he is definitely available. Even if it's just, okay, let's not necessarily talk about Extended Stay America. Let's talk about other options out there and then compare them back to what Michael does. He'll have those conversations with you. We've had those conversations in the past.
Yes. I have recruiters that it seems like every month, every week, every year, I get to know more recruiters at agencies that are dealing with the travelers on the stipend side. So having those conversations, they've got my number. It's the same thing. They've texted me. It'll be a Saturday afternoon. I'll get a text from a recruiter. Hey, I got a traveler going to this market and I can't find anything on your website. Can you help me out? Sure. No problem. That's what I do.
Yep. Tell me how we can find you. Where can people find you? Online, LinkedIn, Facebook? You tell our audience where they can find you.
Oh my gosh, yes, I'm on LinkedIn, but yes, M. Schlottman at ESA.com is my email. My phone number is out there. Everybody's got that, but just extendedstay.com. We actually have a number. If you can't reach me by my number or my email, you can call our 800 line, and they'll reach out to us too. I've had that in the past where travelers they may have not had my contact information. They call the 800 number, and then they forward that right over to me. So I'm pretty available. Just ask anybody in the industry or a recruiter or housing team or Rich at Atlas. He'll give out my number to anybody. So
send me a text. I'll give you his number. It's totally fine. Oh, I don't get a referral fee for it either. I get nothing.
Well, maybe once in a while I'll come in, we'll find a dive bar and have some wings.
Sounds good to me. All right, Michael, thank you so much. I appreciate you being on with me today.
Thanks, Rich. I appreciate it. As always, great time to chat with you, and thanks for the opportunity.
Join us for our next episode where we talk to another industry insider about the staffing world.